Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation, and the narration reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a young woman who is only aged 23 years old. I'm still going to university, but as for now, there are some challenges which I can say they are spiritual challenges that I am facing, and I don't know if I'll be able to continue furthering my studies because of these spiritual attacks that I am getting. I am only aged 23 years old, and as for my parents, I cannot blame them because they tried by all means to give us a better life. My mom is a strict Pentecostal woman, as well as my father. I can say that my father is much more strict than my own mother. I grew up in an area that is called Uplands in Harare, in Waterfalls. That is where my parents' house is at. Growing up, as for my father, he never wanted us to watch any movies. We would only watch gospel channels 24/7. As for me and my siblings, we all went to boarding school, and once you were in grade 4, then my father will send you to a Christian boarding school until you would have finished your high school education. From there on, that was when I applied at this university that is in Bindura called Zegu. Whilst I was going there, my mother was the one who made it possible for me to get a phone. My father had said no, she is not yet old enough to have a smartphone, but my mom said that she is now in university. You need to at least release her a little bit. My father was skeptical about it. He only wanted me to have a laptop, but at the end of the day, they bought me one of those cheap smartphones. When I arrived at university, my friends, they used to go to this other shopping center that is called Papa Piki. Each and every Friday evening, they would go for the groove and they will enjoy themselves, and they will come back on Sunday at that boarding house where we were staying. So most of the people at the boarding house where we are staying at that student accommodation, they used to say that I am too stupid because of the way that I will be dressing. My parents, they loved to dress us as if we were from the villages, the long skirts and everything. We were not allowed to go to the hair salon. My mother trained me how to do my own hair, that style that they call freehand. That is all that I knew. So most of the people at the student accommodation where I was staying, they used to laugh at me. So the girls that I was sharing the same apartment with, these girls, they were into dating rich blessers, those rich blessers that hang around by this shopping complex. Those ones with money, these were the ones that would come and pick them up. And whenever I'll be alone, most of the boys, they would laugh at me. Then there was this other day, Brother Nashi, when one of those young ladies that I was staying with, she was taken by her blesser. Upon her return, she then gave me some nice fresh chips and some ribs, and it was really cool with some 100% juice. I had never eaten these things. We used to eat them, but whenever we would go out with my parents. So I started eating everything, and I just wanted, Brother Nashi, to be like these girls. Those girls then said, you are no longer in high school. You are no longer staying with your parents. You need to grow up, enjoy life only for once in your life. Just enjoy. So then there was this other weekend, one of the girls that I was staying with, she said, can you go out with me, please? I refused, but at the end of the day, she said, I know I am going to give you my clothes, since I had told her that I cannot go out with all of these village old dresses that my parents bought for me because people are going to laugh at me. But she gave me her own clothes. When I wore them, Brother Nashi, even people were looking at me. Guys were like, this girl is really beautiful. We then went to Papa Piki shopping center, and then she introduced me to this other man who was also a blesser, a single guy who had came to hang around with them. This blesser, as I was busy speaking with him, the guy He was working at this mine that is called Trojan Mine, but he was staying in an area in Mazoe, in where a lot of rich guys are staying there. Whilst we were speaking to each other, that was when that guy said he wanted to return back with me to his house in Mazoe. I refused, but this guy, he had spent a lot of money on me, because from around 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. he was just spending money and spending money. So one of my friends texted me and she said, "Don't be stupid. You need to go with him. What are you going to do if he tells you that since you can't go with me to my place, then you have to pay the bill?" When I looked at all the food that we had eaten, there was no way that I'll be able to afford anything. That was when I agreed. I went with this guy, Brother Nashi. The moment that we got into the car, he was driving like no man's business. He was in a rush. He wanted to be with me. We arrived at his place at somewhere around 7 p.m. This guy, he was really drunk. When we got into the bedroom, he tried to sleep with me, but I refused, and he was really drunk. I pushed him to the side and we fell asleep. That was when, in the middle of the night, when I woke up, I wanted to go to the bathroom. And when I went to the bathroom, Brother Nashi, when I came back, that was when I saw that underneath the bed, there was a coffin. And what had woken me up, even though I wanted to go and relieve myself, but this guy, when he is fast asleep, he was grinding his teeth, and it was quite scary. Upon returning back in the bedroom, he asked me why the hell I was switching on the light. I switched it off and I got back on the bed with the thing that I had seen underneath the bed, that coffin. It got me so scared, and I thought that maybe it was just a hallucination. Once I got into bed, Brother Nashi, I could not even fall asleep. That was when I had these sudden movements that were happening underneath the bed. That was when I woke up. When I woke up, that was when I saw that indeed this was not a hallucination. There was a coffin that was underneath this bed. Then later on, then the next morning, that was when this man, he said, "Let us go to the downstairs to his bar." He has a bar at his house. So we went there downstairs and we started just speaking. This man then asked me what I wanted from him. I told him that I wanted an iPhone, since all of my friends, they had iPhones. And then this guy said, "An iPhone, only an iPhone, that is nothing to me." He said, "I am going to buy you an iPhone and I am going to give you $3,000 so that you can start a small business, and I'm going to give you some money." This guy, the reason as to why he said he was going to do all of these things for me, it was because he had found out that I was still a virgin. He said, "A virgin in university, you have kept yourself very well, and I am going to reward you for keeping yourself very well." So he took me into another guest room. When we got in there, everything, Brother Nashi, it was just cotton white, and we then slept together. He was the one who deflowered me, and when he had finished deflowering me on the bedding, there was blood everywhere. He said that he was going to remove all of the bedding, and he took the sheets into the bathroom and he placed them in the bathtub. So when I wanted to wash them before I would have left his house, he said, "No, don't do that. I am going to do it all by myself." I then returned back to school. He said that he was unable to return me back to Bindura. So he took me to the bus station and he gave me the money. All the money that he gave me, it was $4,000. I got onto the bus. When I arrived, some of the girls that knew me, they said, "You are now a changed woman. Please do not let these blessers change you. If you want to date, at least try to date someone that is of your own age. Here at Zegu, there are other boys that you can date. Leave these blessers alone, Brother Nashi." But I wanted money. I just wanted money. I then opened my small handbag because I wanted to show them the $4,000 that this blesser had given me. But to my surprise, when I opened it up, Brother Nashi, I only found out that there was only $500 all the money had just vanished into thin air. So I thought that maybe when I was sleeping on the bus, there was a thief that had stolen the money from me, but I could not understand. Then when the university closed, we then went back to our homes for sim break. When I arrived back home, I had that $500. I didn't know what to do with this money because my mom, she is very strict. So she will search you. So she will search your bags because she wanted to see if I was doing some funny stuff in university. I then gave my big sister the money and I told her everything that had happened. And I said, if mom is going to find out about this money, she's going to beat me up. My sister said, no, don't worry. If you give me this money, I'll keep it for you, and I will tell her that it is from my salary. I have been keeping these savings. So my mom, just like always, she opened up my bags. She searched around my rooms because this is what she has always done. She will be looking for any evidence that will show her that you are now dating. My sister, she always had this money hidden in her bra underneath her breast. But this thing that she did, I think that she was cursed by that blesser, because all of a sudden my sister's breast, it got swollen. That same breast where she was keeping that money underneath that same breast, it got so swollen. She was then taken to this other hospital at Parktown Hospital. When she was taken there, the tests were done and she was told that she has breast cancer. And I only stayed at home for only 1 month for the sim break, and I then returned back to school. I bought a really good phone as well as some clothes, and this phone that I bought, it was not an iPhone. I bought a Samsung for 3,000. I bought an iPhone for $300, and then I used the other $200 to buy some classy clothes because I wanted to keep on dating these men that were rich. So I needed to look like I was someone that was of a higher class. As for my sister, she kept on getting worse and worse and worse. Then what happened was that last year in December, when I had returned back home, that was when I noticed that when I'll be on my periods, Brother Nashi, there are these droppings that just come out of my private parts, you know, like those got droppings. Those are the things that I started to see on my sanitary pads. When I would feel that my sanitary pad will be full now of my menstrual blood, when I would remove it, I would not see any blood as such. I would only see those got droppings, and I do not know what to do anymore. As for my legs, they keep on getting swollen, and I am just asking for anyone who knows how to fix this so that I can return back to school. As for my mom, I do not want to give her high blood pressure, because when my sister was told that her breast had to be removed, my mom got so much depressed. And if I tell her that this is what happened to me, I am going to give her depression, because my mom used to take pride in herself because she was saying that she raised us well. My mom still thinks that I am still a virgin, but she does not know that this is what I ended up doing in university. I am asking for advice. Is there anyone who can assist me? Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that was sent to me. If you have any child that goes to school at a place that is very far from you, you need to pray for your kids. Even when your kids are now in university, pray for them, and also pray for their roommates, because you might have raised your child very well, but know that once they are in college or in university, they are going to come across some kids that are coming from different families. So you need to also put their roommates in your prayers and remember them and pray for them, because the days are dark and the days are dangerous. Out there are men who are quite dangerous. If you have never come across it, you will never believe it. But if you have witnessed witchcraft, you will know that this is the truth. Let's meet again in the following episode.